Now at 11, a double shooting at a funeral now under investigation. What we're learning tonight from IMPD.
And temperatures are in the 60s currently, but we're headed to the 80s for tomorrow before a dramatic drop in temperatures.
Purdue is looking to punch its ticket back to the Sweet 16 in the round of 32 of the NCAA tournament. Miami on deck. We previewed this one after hearing from the Boilers. It's coming up in sports.
Breaking news, President Trump threatening major new strikes against Iran. In a post on social media, the president said the U.S. would, quote, obliterate Iranian power plants if it does not fully open the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. That waterway, of course, critical for global oil shipments. It has been closed for several days, causing a spike in gas prices. So far, no response from Iran to the president's ultimatum. Well, now to a shooting investigation here in Indianapolis after gunfire erupts at a funeral. Metro Police tonight are searching for the suspect who shot two people at a church near 32nd and College Avenue this morning. Our Marina Silva tonight on the police investigation and the message from the church pastor.
What should have been a time of mourning
Additional callers say there was a funeral going on at the location.
turned into a scene of violence here on 32nd and College Avenue. Metro Police tell us they're investigating a double shooting just outside the Antioch Baptist Church. The shooting happened while a family is inside grieving the loss of a loved one.
For that matter, it's certainly disturbing.
Sergeant William Young says officers were already heading to the area because of a shots fired call when they got updated information of someone shot. When IMPD got here, they found two men shot.
The pastor tells me this church has been in the community for decades and calls it heartbreaking that as one family is grieving, so is another.
I'm experiencing a myriad of emotions.
Dr. Clyde Postley Jr. is the pastor here. He says this is the first time anything like this has happened outside his church.
This family is hurting. I've been corresponding with them all week, and they have done their best, despite their grief, to plan this funeral in a tasteful manner. We were even preparing dinner for them downstairs. Some assailant decided to disrupt this family's grief, so I'm hurting there.
And outside the church, dozens of family members gathering.
I have a fairly large-sized church with probably 40 to 50 plus witnesses, but I needed a secure perimeter.
Their family have been members of this church for 60 or 70 years, so we have a long relationship with them. Never had any kind of issues, and they're a major piece of our congregation.
Now, a community already grieving on loss is left mourning another and searching for answers. In Indianapolis, Marina Silva, 13 News.
City County Councilman Ron Gibson released a statement tonight on the shooting, saying in part, a funeral should be a sacred moment for grieving, reflection, and coming together as a community. The fact that violence took place in such a setting is deeply disturbing and completely unacceptable. No family should have to experience this kind of trauma while honoring a loved one. 11:03 on your Saturday night and a gorgeous shot of downtown Indianapolis. It was really a gorgeous day out there today on your Saturday, but guess what? If you're making plans for Sunday, it sounds like most of the day it's going to be pretty fabulous.
Yeah, it will be, especially the early part of the day.
Okay.
Once we get into the second half of the day, things are going to change up in quite a kind of an interesting way. Something we don't often see. So let me kind of explain where we are. We're currently sitting at 66. We've got some 50s in the area. I do think we'll drop into the 50s for everyone. When we look at the larger picture, we do see some of this warmer air trying to move our way. 77 for St. Louis right now. That's what we've been tapping into, and I think we will continue to do so through about midday tomorrow. But just off to the north, there's some colder temperatures, and there's a front here. It's sitting right about here. You'll actually be able to see some of the clouds moving along that front. That's going to slide its way back into Indiana for tomorrow. And when it does so, watch what it'll do to the temperatures. The temperatures are going to try to raise into the 80s for tomorrow. By midday, looks like everyone's headed there, getting into the 70s, but the front makes a move, and we do get into the 80s for Indy. But farther to the north, your temperatures are going to start to drop much earlier in the afternoon. That front will sweep across. It will cool everyone down by the second half of the day, probably before the sun goes down. And so your temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly. We'll reach that high temperature sometime around maybe 1 or 2 before we see the temperatures drop, and it could lead to a chance for some storms later in the afternoon. I'll talk about that coming up.
All right, see you in a few minutes, Rob. Thank you. A march and vigil downtown tonight with people speaking out against ICE. Our Brandon Schaff shows us the demonstration that went from Monument Circle to the State House.
On the Christ Church Cathedral lawn, these flames shining a light on an issue important to the people who showed up to this vigil. Several speakers speaking out against ICE and calling for support of immigrant families.
We welcome you, that we are not going to target you, that we are not going to harass you. And so it's important for us to stand up and say something loud to counter the ongoing message of denial and denigration of their humanity.
Dr. Dwayne Davis traveled from Minneapolis to offer his support and share lessons from a community that's faced several incidents involving ICE. Other local faith leaders showing up with a clear message.
In opposition to what we've seen around the country with the ICE crackdowns. This is the spring solstice, and what a beautiful night for us to be able to do this, because not only does love melt ice, but sun does as well.
Once the speeches were finished, demonstrators began marching from Monument Circle to West Market Street.
With candles in hand and signs in the sky, all of them walking to the Indiana State House to push for policy and stand in solidarity with immigrant families.
Indy resident Rachel Purswell wants lawmakers to step up too.
I just would really like to see them grow a heart and put people's lives over political power.
We have personal friends that are going through problems, and we want to be able to say, we're standing up for you, we're doing something for you.
The candles serving as a guiding light as they march to stand up for those friends. In Indianapolis, Brandon Schaff, 13 News.